Hello, everybody. I hope you all have had an amazing week. And as we prepare for this 4th of July, I hope you guys have amazing plans and get to spend time with your loved ones and hopefully be outside for some of it. We're going to talk about our physical bodies again this Tuesday. And I would love to hear if you guys were able to watch the last week's live, and I had a meditation in there. And so I'd love to hear your feedback on that. Whether you want to private message me or share it, I would love it. I talked about how important meditation has been for me in connecting with my body. And just would love feedback, hear what you think. Today I kind of want to talk about what goes into our bodies. That is actually a big part of our physical self. And for a long time, I used the things that I put in my body as a way of numbing or as forgetting even what was going on around me. A way of coping, self-soothing. And I relied on food as a way to help me feel better very momentarily. And after I would eat these foods, or too much of them, my stomach would really hurt. And I honestly thought that's the way things were. That when you eat food, your stomach just hurts. And when I started this healing journey and really focused on healing my gut, I had moments where I didn't hurt after I ate. And then if I would eat something that I shouldn't or would eat too much, it would hurt again. And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't felt this in a long time. And it helped me connect emotionally more with my body because I had that recognition. And so there's a few things that I wanted to talk about tonight. First is our blood sugar. So our blood sugar, when it is too high, it can actually cause a lot of damage within our body. And one of the things that it does is sugar or glucose, so it's not just like table sugar, it's glucose, is very spiky and sharp. And when you have too much going through you, it can start to create damage in your blood vessels, and in your tiny blood vessels is where it starts, where the damage starts. And so you may have or have heard of people that have peripheral neuropathy in their feet. You might have even heard of people that have had toes removed or even higher up amputations. And that is generally due to the damage that this blood sugar causes when it is too much in your blood vessels. And it creates nerve damage because the nerves can't receive the nutrients. And so what happens is you might get a cut or something on your foot and you don't even feel it. And then that cut gets infected. And that's when the amputations start. It can also affect your optic nerve in your eyes, so people's vision go bad. It literally can negatively impact every organ in your body. And it is in, I think, almost every processed food. And we're not really talking about sugar substitutes tonight, but we're just mainly talking about the sugar that's in our food. And so a part of decreasing your glucose is really knowing where you're at. And so there's quite a few things you can do to know what your blood glucose is. And it's best if you're going to check it with a finger stick, and you can get a monitor anywhere. I think Walmart has them. And they're made really well, so it doesn't hurt. But it's best to do it when you wake up in the morning, because you kind of want to know what your fasting glucose is. And if it's higher than 100, that's too high. You really want to get it down to 80 and even lower if possible for your first glucose. This is before you've had anything to eat. One of the things that I used, one of the tools, is a continuous glucose monitor. And this one was a prescription. I do think that they are becoming more available without a prescription. This is great because this prescription, I get it filled at Costco, and it's $60 per monitor. And they come in, they come in packs of 2. So you get it for a whole month. Each monitor of this brand, and this is the Freestyle Libra. And this one's no longer made, they've upgraded it. But they last for 2 weeks. So I wore this pretty much continuously, and you just put it on the back of your arm. It doesn't hurt when you put it in. The needle is so tiny, and the needle doesn't stay. It's just this tiny catheter that stays. You're able to swim, you're able to shower. They just don't want you to like submerge for long periods of time. And I wore this for 2 years. It was really important for me to know how my body was responding to all things that I was eating, because I wanted to decrease my blood sugar. So I highly recommend either a finger poke, and I did that for a long time too, or a continuous glucose monitor. And if you have questions about this, let me know. There are ways to get it without a prescription, but insurance for me didn't cover it. So I did have to pay out of pocket for that. But it is a wonderful investment to give you real-time information, like real time. And it got to where I was just kind of watching. It's an app on your phone, so I could really see what it was doing throughout the day. And it got to where I was so familiar with how my body was feeling that I would only look at my app when I wasn't feeling good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is my blood sugar? And then I could connect it to what I just ate like an hour, half an hour, 2 hours ago. Just like, oh my gosh, it was that. That's what did it. So my body didn't do well with that food. We're just living in a culture where we can have whatever we want whenever we want. And so having the awareness of how I was physically reacting to what I was eating was a really powerful piece of getting my blood sugar down and healing my body. When you're on that journey of healing your body, your blood sugar, it really is important to also focus on your microbiome. And your microbiome is layered within your small intestine. And that's where you absorb your nutrients. And my microbiome was horrible, absolutely horrible. It was really the bloating. I got bloating and full of gas after I ate. And there are some tests that you can do out there. There's stool sample tests that it can really evaluate what's going on in your microbiome. And I had, it's called SIBO. It's small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So I had too many bacteria. And so with my eating, when I would eat, that bacteria would just be in heaven. And the bacteria actually would create methane gas. And so that was what was causing my bloating. So healing my microbiome is one of the pieces that really helped me lower my blood sugar, because I was able to really pay attention to that. And there's so many different ways you can do that. I really recommend, if this is a journey that you're going to go on, that you get some support. You don't just want to try all sorts of things, because there's a lot of diets or programs that can actually cause some damage. I have the thought that there is not a diet that is for all of us. And I've tried them all, as I'm sure you guys have. So many things I've tried and never really got the results that I wanted. But when I learned to really connect to myself, I was able to listen to what my body needed and wanted. So just for me as an individual with this SIBO, I actually did the carnivore diet. I did that for 2 months. And with that, you're only eating protein. You're only eating meat and some dairy. It's been a while, a couple years, so I can't remember exactly. And I only did that for 2 months. And that goal for me doing that was to kill the bacteria that had overgrown. And I actually did, like I said, tests, and it was 2 different. It was a hydrogen bacteria and a methane bacteria. And so the carnivore diet is what really helped me start that path. And then I had to slowly add foods back in. So now, actually that 2 months, I'd never felt so good. Like, I couldn't believe how good I felt. And I had thoughts of, when did I last feel this good? And I honestly think it's been my whole life. I think my whole life, I always had stomach problems and always hurt when I ate, whether it was to the SIBO or whether it was because I was overeating, just always hurt. And it was almost like it was such a constant that I'm actually going to eat until I hurt, because then I'm done. It was such a weird thought process for me. So having the glucose monitor and really paying attention to what I was eating has been to help support me on this longevity of healing. The 2 months of the carnivore diet and then adding the foods back in. So just to talk about that a little bit, some of the things that you can do. Actually, I've learned that we do not need to eat as much as we think we do. And if you have a history of, eating everything that's on your plate, they're starving children, so eat it all. Or if you have a thought that you're going to be wasting, that's actually damaging your body. It's actually hurting you when you're not listening to those needs filling up your plate too big. Actually, just a little personal note, I was out to dinner with my husband years ago, and he's a big guy, and he's like, "Man, you're matching me plate for plate." I think we were at like a buffet, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I am eating so much food." And when he said that, it really helped me recognize in that moment what I was doing. And it was, all out of love, but I had never realized that for years I was using food to help me feel better. So the way I eat now is I really prioritize fiber, and fiber is vegetables. It can be some grains. I don't eat a lot of grains, so I really try and eat more vegetables. I love fruit. I use fruit as my sugar substitute when I need some sugar. That's what I'll go to, is fruit, and I pretty much always have it around. I have it at home. I have it at work. I have it with me and sometimes in my purse. I have these really great little fruit bars that I get at Costco. It's just like blueberry, strawberry, and mango and apples, and there's nothing else in it. So when I'm like, oh my gosh, I need candy or I need something, that's what I'll grab. And that's really, really helped me. And they have some fiber, not a whole lot, but it does have some fiber in it. So starting every meal with eating some fiber, and then you want to add your protein. And that protein can be any source that you enjoy. I don't think we should avoid things necessarily. Like, I don't think we should avoid beef. I don't think we should avoid eggs unless you know you have an allergy and unless your body's telling you. So I really pretty much eat anything, any protein. And then after that, I'll have more of the carby stuff if I have potatoes or rice or things like that. So add that in, or even a dessert, because you're pretty full from the fiber and the protein. So if you do have a cookie or a piece of cake, that's okay. It's absolutely okay. It's just not a lot. It helps decrease how much you eat. I feel like this for me has helped a lot in how I take care of myself. I have learned that writing down what I eat stresses me out. I don't do well with that. I don't do well with tracking food. It brings a lot of guilt for me if I do something that I shouldn't do, because it's like documented. Some people love it. I did use MyFitnessPal for a long time, but some people love it. They really feel like it's something they can control, and they feel empowered by it, and they love seeing the progress that they're making. So it's good to try both. See what really works for you, but you have to put some awareness around it. You can't blindly sit with a bag of chips and eat the whole thing. You can definitely put some chips on your plate and eat them. But as you're healing your microbiome, you need to really pay attention to what's going in. And there's a lot of resources. There's a lot of support out there right at your fingertips to help educate you on what has fiber in it, what's a good protein. And I'll actually, on our site this week, I'll put on a document that can show you what good resources are. I also feel that fat is a good thing for us. It actually is really good for our brain and our nervous system. A lot of our organs rely on it. A lot of vitamins that we take need fat. So it is important to have fat, and there are healthy fats. I'm sure you all know there's a lot of like avocados and olives. Those things are really good. Adding olive oil to things. I love avocado oil also. I love butter. I think that's great. It's just really important to add that for your brain to function better. And also when they're all eaten together in that way, it just provides your body with everything that it needs, and you just will feel so much better. I do think it's important to stop eating at a certain time of day and not snack after that. It's if you go to bed with food to digest, it can create some stress on your body. So as I was transitioning, in fact, one night, you guys, not one night, I don't know how long this was going on, but I would go to bed, fall asleep, wake up like hungry or needing food, and I would go downstairs and I would eat. And that, I probably did that for quite a few years. Was I really hungry? I don't think I was, because I was already eating a lot throughout the day. But when I prioritize the nutrition in this way throughout my day, that decreased. And so I no longer do that. I don't have to get up to eat. I don't have to have snacks. If I want a snack, if I want popcorn, I'll actually include that into my meal before my last meal of the day. So saying I'm never going to have something does not work for me. It does the opposite. I'll eat the whole thing. So a restrictive mindset can be very challenging. When you tell yourself you're no longer going to do it, it does something in your subconscious to where it's like telling the kid, don't touch that. You can't touch that. And it's driving them crazy. They want to touch it. They want to touch it until they touch it and then they get hurt. So it's almost the same thing where you just don't want to restrict yourself. If you want it, ask your body, do you want this now? You know, do you really want it? And if she says yes, go for it. If she says, actually, I'm not hungry, I think I'm more thirsty, or man, that Costco right now has got these white nectarines. They're the best. I want a nectarine. So, all right, let's eat a nectarine. And that's perfect. It's absolutely perfect to do that. Gaining that connection with yourself helps you in the moment. Ask. Another thing with the asking is she'll say, actually, if you eat that, you're going to feel like crap. How is that going to affect the rest of your day? Or how is that going to affect tomorrow? And so even having that thought, well, I still have a lot to do today, or tomorrow I'm going to go hiking or go shopping and I need energy, will help me make a better decision for myself. So putting a lot of intention into what you're eating without a negative. When you're saying, if you eat this, you're a piece of crap. If you eat this, you failed. If you eat this, you're going to be fat forever. Any of those loops in your head is the exact opposite of what's going to help you be successful in your physical body. If you do eat something that you shouldn't have, or regret, or feel shame about, being really gentle with yourself and being very loving and going at it with curiosity and why, why did I decide to eat that? What was going on? What was happening? Oh my gosh, you had that horrible experience at work, or you got in a fight, or you had that phone call with somebody and it was awful. And I just needed to soothe myself, and coming in with that loving energy, just like you would to one of your children or someone that you really love, and just coming in and being like, oh, you did feel bad. That was really hard. It's okay. We're okay now. We're safe now. So it's okay. Let's drink a lot of water now, or let's have our next meal be a really good meal, or even let's not eat until we're hungry again. So that connection with your brain and your body is so powerful. It's literally life-changing when you're able to make that. And any negative dialogue that you have with yourself counters that. You will backfire. You will stay in the same space. You will keep making the same decisions because it's a coping mechanism that you're doing. And so really being aware and purposeful and having a lot of intent and a lot of grace with yourself is very powerful. It is life-changing. It really is life-changing. So just some brief kind of chat about nutrition. If this is something that you're really interested in, like I said, there's a lot of resources. Message me. Let me know if you need some additional support. I think that there's a lot of things that we may have been raised with or conditioned with that we actually don't know how food and certain foods affect us. So we really need to empower ourselves with the decisions and the choices that we're making. And it's absolutely one of the most loving things that you can do for yourself. And it does take some work initially. It can be very, 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 very uncomfortable reaching into those feelings of what's going on. It's not fun to be like, oh, I feel bad, or I feel shame, or I'm in pain emotionally. It's not fun to see it. But the more you see it and the more awareness that you have around it, the better your choices will be. So I highly encourage you to work through that, and even take this next week to really kind of pay attention. And if writing it down, oh, I ate this, or MyFitnessPal, writing it down, I ate this and this is how I felt, or this is why I felt this way, can be really enlightening. There's a lot of work that I have done around that. There's a lot of work that I have done around the investigation of it. And I did have help and support as I was going through this journey. I had a wonderful coach, a wonderful therapist that really helped support me in learning how to do that, because I was so disconnected from what was going on with me. So really excited to keep moving forward with these lives. Next week will be another physical, focusing on our physical self. And I'm dying to hear feedback. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you would like to focus more on, or if this is in line with what you need or would like to learn about. I think it's important to be able to provide that to you guys as we go on this journey together. Be outside as much as possible. The sun actually helps you process a lot of nutrients. So it's really good to be outside and let the sun on your skin, not to burn, but, safely. So I really encourage that, and looking forward to this journey and working together. So take care of everybody.